In East Yorkshire and Lincolnshire, good afternoon and welcome to Friday's Look North. Good afternoon. A 91-year-old farmer from Lincolnshire says it will be a disaster if his and other farms are sold to pay inheritance tax bills. The government says that changes to inheritance tax are needed to fund vital public services for everyone. But Bob Armstrong fears that there will not be a viable farm left for his 8-week-old great-grandson Archie if 3 generations have to sell chunks of land to pay tax. Our correspondent Lindsay Smith has been to meet Bob and his family.
It'd be a disaster. That's how I feel. Worked all these years to build it up. The amount of nights I've spent up with my wife and I, calving cows and things like that. The last thing I want to see it falling apart.
3 generations of the same family, fearing the future, worrying about the next.
My main wish or hope is that they're able to carry on where I left off.
Bob Armstrong and his wife Margaret didn't inherit their farm. In 1957, they rented a small amount of land in Lincolnshire. It now grows potatoes for Tesco's, for McCoy's Crisps, and their crops make thousands of loaves of bread a year.
We could be looking at somewhere around a £700,000 tax bill just to get from grandpa to dad. If that's then going to be similar to get from dad to my generation and then my generation to Archie, there's not going to be, if we had to sell land off to pay that, there's not going to be a lot left in terms of a viable business.
Despite protests, the government insists that it's fair for farmers to pay 20% inheritance tax, half the usual rate they were previously exempt. They say the money will fund vital public services. But David says it'll mean less food is grown here.
There's shortage of potatoes at the moment and we'd like to invest in more storage. Money which would have been allocated for that investment, potentially now I'm thinking, how long are you going to last, Dad? Should I be hanging on to that and not making them types of investments?
This is a family who are wondering what next and if their worries will be heard or understood. Lindsay Smith, BBC Look North, Bardney.
And some more news in just a moment. We do know that a number of people are having problems with TV reception over the last couple of days. I did at home. BBC experts, and you know what they like, say it's high pressure. Keely Donovan.
You do my job for me. Don't blame me for your pixelated face.
Well, I thought Paul's forecast pixelated was better, to be honest. But anyway, how long will it last for?
I think by the end of next week, certainly, we'll be back to low pressure and it'll probably get better over the next few days. But generally, high pressure still dominates our weather over the weekend and into the early part of next week. So a lot of settled weather to come. But also, as that high pressure ebbs away eastwards, we are going to draw up much colder air for the weekend. And there's quite a lot of cloud in the forecast, some fog too. This afternoon, a lot of dry weather, but there'll be quite a bit of cloud out there as well. And you can see the cloud on the satellite picture. We've got some brighter skies, some thinner cloud over parts of East Yorkshire, northern Lincolnshire, and that's probably the way it'll stay as we head through the afternoon, with thicker cloud always across parts of Lincolnshire. But not much of a breeze, and it is largely dry out there. So a pretty decent afternoon, if not just a little bit cloudy in places, and temperatures about where they should be for this time of year. So I think the low cloud will redevelop overnight. If we do get any breaks, there'll be a little bit of patchy mist and fog in a few spots. Light winds overnight, and it does look like there'll be some mist and fog patches developing along with a frost. Temperatures 1-2 degrees, but some spots could drop back to freezing depending on those breaks in the clouds. So a bit of a grey start in places. We should see a bit of an improvement. The mistiness, the greyness will lift, but we'll keep hold of quite a bit of cloud, particularly across Lincolnshire. Probably through the afternoon, we'll see a little bit more in the way of brightness moving in from the northwest, and temperatures will be cooler, only getting up to 4 or 5 degrees. We'll have mist and fog quite extensively on Sunday morning, and it'll be a colder day too, Peter.
Sorry, I wasn't treading on your toes. You got very defensive there very quickly.
You can get up and try it if you want, Peter.
No, thank you.
I'm not sure you'd manage without that autocue of yours.
I'm not sure I'd manage standing up, to be honest.
said that.
Have a nice afternoon.
See you later.
See you later on at 6:30. Keely will be back at 6:30 as usual. Now, some more news. Dame Joan Plowright from Brig, who was one of Britain's most acclaimed stage and screen stars, has died at the age of 95. Dame Joan, who was married to Laurence Olivier, had a 60-year career and was nominated for an Oscar for the 1991 film Enchanted April. The Plowright Theatre in Scunthorpe is named after her. A man has been arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving after a fatal accident near Beverley last night. It happened on Mew Lane at around 5 o'clock. The Subaru left the road and crashed into a tree. The passenger died at the scene and the driver was taken to hospital with serious injuries. The 36-year-old driver of a second car remains in police custody. Mattresses, chairs and sofas, just some of the rubbish that has been dumped just yards away from a tip at Immingham. Campaigners in the area say it's an ongoing issue and now they want cameras put up to stop it happening again. Lara King has this.
I come here because I go to the tip, which is about 15 foot away. And I come in here by mistake. I drove down here and I couldn't believe it, actually. Just not believe what I see. It took me 5 minutes just to drive through it. I didn't get out because there was that much rubbish and there was that much things running around. Oh, I just wanted to get rid of it. And I'd just love to tackle it, but it's private land and it's up to them to sort that out, isn't it?
Can you tell me what is in there then? When you drove down, what did you see?
Everything. Mattresses, settees, beds, the lot, fridges. It's just unbelievable. If I tackle it with me 6 volunteers, I reckon it'd be close to a year.
So you think it would take you a year to clear that?
Clear that, yes, definitely. But with the skips, if we could get the skips here from the land company, I'd do it. I would do it because I don't like to see it. They should have a gate across and a camera, and it'd stop all that.
And who do you think's dumping it?
Anybody that can dump anywhere quick for a quick buck.
Well, in a statement, North East Lincolnshire Council told us that they are aware of previous fly tipping in this area and investigations are ongoing while we work with landowners around their responsibilities. Fly tipping is a problem everywhere, of course. This is the road in Thwing between Bridlington and Driffield. A large amount of building waste, including timber, a radiator and a tyre, was dumped there. Daniel Bint from Bridlington was ordered to pay £670 in fines and costs after admitting he didn't ensure the waste from a house that he was working on was disposed of legally. 450 new trains could be bought by Northern Rail. The company says that 2/3 of the trains in its fleet, some of which have been in service since the 1980s, will be replaced over the next 10 years. They've invited major manufacturers to begin negotiations for the contract. A petition against the possible closure of a post office in Grimsby has been presented in Parliament by the town's MP. The Victoria Street branch is one of 115 being considered for closure. The post office says that no decision has been made about closing any branches and all expressions of interest will be reviewed. Hull College says it's changing the way its students learn with the use of artificial intelligence. The centre are embracing AI to plan lessons and support students who have additional needs in language and learning. The college is hosting a conference later at its Queen's Gardens campus to show how it's used.
It's opened a whole new wardrobe of different things that you can do, you can't do, and it's not as scary. Definitely not as scary as I anticipated it to be in the beginning.
We read that and then it shows us the words we couldn't speak correctly. Yeah. And then we can practice here to speak these words and it says if it's correct or not.
We're back at 6:30. We're going to be talking about weight loss jabs on the programme tonight. They're available now to some people on the NHS, of course. And although they're very successful, they are also very expensive. Are you trying to lose weight? Are you using the weight loss jabs at the moment? Your views on them? Let me know. We'll be talking about it a little bit later on. The email address is there. Follow me on Twitter or text 81333 81333. Start the text with the word Look North. More on the subject of weight loss at 6:30. Thank you for watching. Have a good afternoon. afternoon. More of the national news now from Sarah Campbell.